I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
1 minute ago, the world seemed to stop spinning. Not because of the release of a new song, not because of a performance on a big stage, but because of a childhood photo. Yes, just one photo. But it was enough to send millions of fans around the world into a frenzy. Kim Taehyung, or better known as V from BTS, had just changed his personal Instagram profile photo. Not an art piece, not an editorial photo shoot, but a portrait of himself as a child. Sweet, cute, nostalgic. But there was one thing that immediately drew millions of eyes to the photo: a little girl kissing his cheek. Who is she? The question echoed across comment sections, trending topics on Twitter and the Weverse community. Is she Taehyung's childhood friend? His first love? Or just a friend from daycare? Curiosity reached a fever pitch when one fan asked directly on Weverse, "Who is the girl kissing you?" And Taehyung's response? Instead of clarifying, it only made everyone more confused. "I'm also curious about her now," he wrote. Then he added, "My closest friend at daycare?" A seemingly innocent answer, yet rich in meaning. Is this just a sweet moment from childhood? Or is there a deeper story behind it? Taehyung isn't just any idol, he's an emotional artist. We all know Taehyung isn't the typical idol who just changes his profile picture. Almost every post he makes contains hidden meanings, deep aesthetics, or personal stories deliberately packaged in a mysterious way. So, when he chose to share the most personal part of his life, his childhood, through such an intimate portrait, the world knew it wasn't just nostalgia. Some fans speculated that the photo was taken during a birthday celebration or daycare event when Taehyung was around 3 or 4 years old. What's more surprising is that some ARMY members even began using facial recognition technology to identify the little girl by matching her face with Taehyung's childhood friend, whom he had mentioned in several interviews. However, the identity of the little girl remains a mystery to this day. It didn't take long for hashtags like #TaehyungAbyss and #WhoIsShe to flood the X platform, formerly Twitter. Thousands of comments poured in every minute. Some speculated, others reminisced, others quietly hoped. Could they be reunited? Someone even wrote, "Taehyung, what are you doing out so late at night?" Taehyung responded casually, yet teasingly, "Can I check my phone before bed?" The sentence seemed simple, but for ARMY, it felt like a direct conversation, as if the thousands of kilometers between them and Taehyung suddenly vanished. As if Taehyung was sitting beside them, reminiscing about the past together. Some fans believe this isn't an ordinary occurrence. They suspect it's an emotional teaser for Taehyung's personal project. Whether it's a solo album, a documentary film, or a childhood photo book depicting his journey from a cute kid to a global superstar, others see it as a form of tribute, perhaps for someone who shaped who he is today.
Someone who was very meaningful in the past.
Additional evidence comes from an old interview clip where Taehyung mentioned having a very close female friend in his childhood, but they parted ways when his family moved. Is the girl in the photo the same person? If so, this isn't just about a photo. It's about an unfinished story from the past. And it might just lead to an emotional reunion that the world will remember. This isn't the first time Taehyung has shown a glimpse of his childhood. But for some reason, this time feels much more personal.
Softer, deeper.
As if he's writing a love letter to his memories and sharing it with the world in silence. Some fans even speculate that the girl in the photo might have a similar portrait from a different angle. Could it be that one day she'll see this post, realize that the boy in the photo is Kim Taehyung from BTS and reach out to him? If that happens, it might just be the most emotional reunion in K-pop history. One thing that makes Taehyung special is his ability to create stories from silence. He never gives direct answers. He lets the world guess, ask questions, and discuss. In a world that's fast-paced and instant, Taehyung invites us to slow down,
To feel.
to reflect. And as usual, Taehyung's communication on Weverse is full of his signature style. Teasing, mysterious, yet warm and meaningful. But the story isn't over yet. In fact, this is where everything starts to feel deeper and more meaningful. After that post, the fandom atmosphere changed. It wasn't just a flurry of curiosity, but slowly turned into a space for collective reflection, where fans realized that perhaps, more than who the little girl was, what Taehyung really wanted to convey was how memories can shape who we are today. In his silence, in his smile, in his brief jokes on Weverse, there lies a longing that can't always be expressed in words. He wasn't trying to create a sensation. He was opening a small window into himself, allowing anyone who cared to peek into a past that once held such meaning. Many fans began digging deeper. They sought clues from Taehyung's solo songs, from BTS's past documentary videos, from interview quotes that might have once been overlooked. Some speculated that this was the first step toward a larger narrative, perhaps a visual story in the form of a short film or an upcoming album. Taehyung has always been known as an artist who never reveals everything outright. He builds connections not through explicit words, but through feelings and symbols. So, when he shared that photo, it was as if he were saying, I want you to see this, because this is a part of me you've never known. And what makes this moment even more special is the timing. Taehyung has just completed a major chapter in his life, military service. Many people return home after their service with a changed perspective, and perhaps this is his way of conveying that he too has changed. That after all the fame, pressure, and expectations placed upon him, Taehyung chose to return to the most basic and pure thing: childhood memories. The ARMY's reaction was extraordinary. Not only did they create photo edits, fan art, and conspiracy theories, but they also shared their own childhood photos. The hashtag shifted from simply hashtag who is she to more emotional ones like hashtag my childhood memory and hashtag thanks to V. Some even wrote that because of Taehyung's post, they started revisiting family albums that hadn't been touched in years. One photo can connect millions of people in the same feeling: longing. Looking deeper, this is the true power of an artist like Taehyung. He is not just an entertainer, but also an emotional catalyst. He creates a space for everyone to feel, not just toward himself, but also toward themselves. In an era where everything is fast-paced and filtered, he chooses to slow down time and invite us to reevaluate the small things we may have forgotten. And to this day, no one knows for sure who that little girl is. Maybe she was just a childhood friend. Maybe her first love. Maybe just a fleeting moment captured by the camera and then vanished without a trace. But one thing is clear: the photo has become more than just an image. It is now a symbol of honesty, longing, and a story still hanging in the air. A mystery that doesn't need to be solved immediately, because the magic is created in the process of guessing. Taehyung doesn't provide the ending to the story. He only gave a small piece, and let us all write the rest. And in the silence of the night, perhaps he is also staring at that photo, wondering in the same heart, how are you now? And the world, along with millions of armies, will continue to wait, not just for an answer, but also for the next chapter of the story that began with a small photo and a meaningful smile.